Heute sprechen wir über Grüße, or today we are going to talk about greetings and why it's so important to have lots of different greetings in your vocabulary. So, some of the obvious ones and the simple ones to do are to start with good morning. And in German, this is Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Now, please note the capital letters because they're nouns. So it's important in German that all things, people and places have capital letters. And it's en on the end. Guten Morgen. Okay, so obviously you're going to say that to someone if you see them before midday. However, you might like to say good day or good afternoon. Now, even though technically this word does mean good day, I would rather you use it only in the afternoon hours. So this is Guten Tag. Guten Tag. And then when it gets around 5 o'clock at night, the time between around 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., which we would call evening, that's when they use a different term. We don't use good evening as much anymore. It's more of an old-fashioned term in English, but it's still a lovely thing to say to someone, and the Germans definitely still use it as much. And that is Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Good evening. I will write next to it though the hours, approximate hours that you should be using it for, just so that you remember. Approximately 5 to approximately 9. Because generally, after around 9 or 10, you wouldn't be out greeting people. You would be saying good night. You should be going to bed. Good night. And this one is used when you're going to bed only. Gute Nacht. Now, Gute Nacht is very different than its previous 3 greetings. Why is that? Have a look and see if you can figure it out. That's right, there's no N on gut. It's not guten, like these other 3. It's Gute. Now, the grammatical reason for it is because Nacht, which it means night, is a D word in German. It's a feminine word. And all nouns in German have what's called an article. It's either a der word, D word, or a das word. And Nacht is die Nacht. So, Gute. Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. And you would only say that if you're going to sleep. So I'm going to pop some Zs next to it. For when you're going to bed. Okay. Now, there are some other greetings that you could say throughout the day. Doesn't matter what time generally that you would use them. All right. So hi or hey in German is Tag. Another word that you could use is just hello. Which in German is Hallo. And I'm not going to put a capital on it simply because it doesn't have to have a capital, whereas Tag does. So Tag has to have a capital if you write it, even if it doesn't begin a sentence, but Hallo doesn't matter. If you begin a sentence, pop a capital on it, but otherwise it's okay. Another word that you could say at any time of day, which is very northern German, is Moin. Moin kind of means hey, hi, how's it going, hello, all rolled up in one. So, hi, hey, hello, etc. Moin. Moin, sometimes they'll say moin moin, moin moin, moin. It's very, very northern German thing to do. And often if you're in the South, then you might get a few funny looks, but they'll know exactly, they should know what you mean. I love it because it means I don't have to know what time it is in the day. So let's just check my list, make sure we've got everything. Oh, okay. Another thing that we might do when we are greeting someone is, in Australia and in our country, we often say, hey, how you going? How you going? Generally, we're not actually asking them how they're feeling. But if you say, how are you going, in German, it does literally mean that you're asking after their health. So be prepared for the answer. So, how are you? Or how are you going? How are you? Is wie geht's? It's either wie geht's, or you could say wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir, same thing. And that's informal. If you are asking your teacher, however, then you will want to use the formal tense. You can still, again, you can either say just wie geht's by itself, or wie geht's Ihnen? Wie geht's Ihnen? That is the formal register. So that's for adults, for teachers, anyone in power or importance. Important people, you would use wie geht's Ihnen? And after you respond and say how you're going, you might like to say and you. However, this time we can't use und du or und sie. We have to use different words. So this relates specifically to how are you. And you, we would say und dir. If it was informal, oh, that is an R there, informal. And if it's formal, you say und Ihnen, and the I on Ihnen must have a capital letter, because of course that tells us that it's formal register. Okay, so I don't have much room on this particular screen, but I will do another video where I talk about different ways to respond to the question wie geht's, or how are you. For now, let's just say that you're good, that you're well, everything's okay. Let's just say good thanks. Good thanks, well thanks, same thing. We would say gut danke. Gut danke. Gut danke. Or you might be a little bit more fancy and say I'm well or I'm good thanks. And that would be mir geht's gut, danke. Mir geht's gut. Danke. Okay, so let's go through the pronunciation of everything just in summary. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Good afternoon or good day. Guten Tag. Good evening. Guten Abend. And don't forget that's only from around 5 till 9. Good night. Gute Nacht. Hi or hey. Tag. Hello. Hallo. Hi, hey or hello. Northern German. Moin. Moin. How are you? How are you feeling? Remember? Wie geht's? The informal. Wie geht's dir? The formal. Wie geht's Ihnen? And you. In the informal, und dir. And the formal, und ihnen. And remember, this one in particular only relates to how are you? How are you feeling? Good, thanks. Gut, danke. I'm well, thanks. Mir geht's gut, danke.